y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my June TBR. For the month of June, I decided to make a TBR game similar to, I know JD Ray Reads does TBR Pursuit, and then Becca in the Books has her Bookopoly. So I made a TBR game out of the game Sorry. I don't know if you've ever played that, but I figured since this is the first time I've used it, I'm just going to go ahead and run through the rules really quick. I did actually use a real board of Sorry. I don't have any cool branding the way that Becca in the Books has for her Bookopoly. She made like a custom board for it that's based on Monopoly. Mine is literally just the game Sorry. But essentially the way Sorry works is you have a piece on the board and you draw cards that tell you how many spaces to move forward or backwards or what to do. And then there are Sorry cards where if you're out on the board you have to go back to your home base and start over. And then the way I decided to play it, I ran through a couple of test runs where I ended up with like 30 books trying to go around the whole board to get back to the safe zone. So I decided that I can use my own discretion to go into the safe zone whenever I sort of feel like I've got close to enough books, which I did this time, and I guess we'll see how that worked out. That's basically the way the game works. This month I'm also participating in the Detectathon. I'll link the announcement video for it. It's 2 weeks in the end of June. I believe it's the 14th to the 28th. There are 7 prompts and then there's a group read, and so I'm hoping that I can get some of my prompts from Sorry to translate over and work also for the Detectathon so that I can have everything that I need to read all in one and not have to read a ton of additional books, but I guess we'll just see how it goes. So now, I guess I'll just tell you about the books that I'm reading this month. First, we have a 5. Oh, which is a Latinx author. So for the first category, I got a book by a Latinx author, and for this I chose to read They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. Adam Silvera is a New Yorker of Puerto Rican descent, and They Both Die at the End I think is like a sci-fi romance type thing where it's in an alternate universe where you wake up the day that you're going to die knowing you're going to die, I think, or soon to your death, you like know when you're going to die. And it's about our main character who's in a male-male relationship, and I don't know if that develops over the book or what, but I'm really excited to read it. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I do have They Both Die at the End as an audiobook. Next, 12, which is a book with a white cover. The second category that I drew was a book with a white cover, and for this I chose Vacation by Deb Allen Unferth, and this is a novel that I don't really know very much about. It says a man follows his wife, the wife follows a stranger, the stranger leaves town and the man goes after him, determined to settle the score. But the man is not the only one looking for the stranger, and the stranger has troubles of his own. And that's it. So I'm really excited for this. So this should be a pretty quick read. Now I have a 7, which is a book about or featuring animals. The third category that I drew was a book featuring animals, and for this category you can use a book that has an animal in the title, a book that the characters are animals or they transform into animals, the characters have an animal plays a crucial role in the story, something along those lines. So the book I chose for this is The Bear and the Nightingale, which is obviously a bear and a nightingale. Those are both animals. This is by Catherine Arden. It's the first book in the Winter Night trilogy. I don't know very much about this, except for it's like a fantasy series, I believe, based in Russia or like a Russian-esque setting. I know Becca in the Books really liked this series, or is really liking it. I think she just read the second one in May, maybe, but I'm pretty excited to read that as well. 11, which is a romance. For the fourth category, I did pick a romance tile. I don't read a lot of romances, but there is one that's been on my list for quite some time, and that is House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. This is the first book in the Crescent City. I don't know if it's a trilogy or a series or what. On book 2, people love Sarah J. Maas. I've never read anything by her before, so I'm pretty excited to read that book and see what it's all about, give it a try. I do have it as an ebook, and it is like 800 pages. It's a monster of a book, but I'm pretty excited to read that one. Move forward 3, which is a mystery. For the 5th category, I did get a mystery, and for this I chose to read Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. This is a mystery about a woman whose daughter is kidnapped or dies when she's about 14, I think, and then years later, like 10 years later, the mother meets someone who has a daughter that is the same age that her daughter was when she either disappeared or died, and that daughter looks exactly like her daughter. So I don't know if there's like a doppelganger thing going on or if it's something deeper and darker than that, but I've heard good things about this. I've definitely heard people talk about it. I don't really remember if it was good or bad things, but I'm excited to read it, and I do have this one as an ebook that I've got from my library as well. 8. For this one, I'm between a 500+ page book and a hard science fiction book. This will be my 6th one, and you never know what happens. So I think I'm going to try to go up so that I don't end up with like 15 books to read. So we're going to go hard science fiction. For the 6th category, I did draw a hard science fiction. I don't read a lot of hard science fiction, which is why I put it as a category on here. So I'm pretty excited to get some use out of it, and this book's been on my wish list forever. And it's 2001, 2001 A Space Odyssey by Arthur C. Clarke. This is part of an Odyssey series, or Space Odyssey series, which I didn't realize until I looked this up on Goodreads. So maybe if I like it, I'll read the other ones in the series, but I've never heard anyone talk about anything except for this one. But I'm excited to get into it. I think it's just like a space exploration type book. I honestly don't even know really what it's about. I know it was written in like the 50s or the 40s, so it's a futuristic take on what 2001 was supposed to be like. But yeah, I'm really excited to read this. I'm excited to get more into science fiction, I think. And then Move Forward One Space, which is another animal book. For the 7th category, I did get another animal book. So for this, I did decide to read Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I do have the Spanish version. I'm pretty excited to read this. This should be a quick read. It's written with there's like cute illustrations, and it's all like short text. I have a gift receipt because I got this for my birthday a few years ago, honestly, but I'm excited to finally read this. I really like the cover of it. I think it's beautiful. I just want to say I don't condone J.K. Rowling's actions and transphobia. Just put that out there, but I didn't buy this. This was gifted to me, and I'm gonna read it. And now we've reached the part of the game where I draw until I get a number that is 3 or fewer. So let's do it. Oh, this is move forward 10 or backward 1, so I'm going to move back 1 to hard science fiction again. For the 8th category, I did get another hard sci-fi, so I guess I'm getting my wish and getting lots of science fiction books to read. And for this, I did decide to read The Martian by Andy Weir, which was made into a movie with Matt Damon a few years ago that I never ended up seeing, but hopefully I'll like the book a lot and then want to watch the movie. I've heard really good things about this book. It's about a guy who was an astronaut on a mission, somehow gets lost or something happens to where they don't know, they think he's died, and the rest of his team leaves him behind on Mars with no way to contact anyone, so he has to sort of figure out how to survive on Mars. And it's like about how he does that, I guess. From what I understand, that's what it's about, and I'm really excited to read that. I do have this one as an ebook as well. Then I have Move Backwards 4, so I'm back in the game. That is a queer book. For the next category, I did get a queer book, and I did choose to read Ivy Aberdeen's Letter to the World for this one. This is the group read for Detectathon, so I'm really excited about that. This book it's a middle grade. It's about a girl who, I think she lives in Oklahoma or Kansas, somewhere in the central United States in Tornado Alley, and her home gets hit by a tornado, and I think the only possession that she is left with is this diary where she draws pictures of girls holding hands, and the diary goes missing, and the pictures start showing up in her locker, and you're trying to figure out, I think it's a mystery, so you don't know who took the journal or who has it and if they're a friend or a foe. But it sounds really cute, and I'm really excited to read about it. I do have that as an ebook as well. Move Forward 5. Another animal book. And then I drew another animal book. For this, I am reading Electric Woman by Tessa Fontaine. This book is a memoir. It's Tessa Fontaine's memoir of, looks like working in a circus or like a traveling road sideshow, something like that. And then it indicates on the back that there are snake charmers, which means that there are probably snakes. But really, I just want to read this book. If you can hear the roofers, I'm sorry. I think our neighbors are getting their roof repaired. This book I'm pretty excited to read. I love a good memoir. I love a good nonfiction. Nonfiction is the largest section on my TBR by far. And I don't always feel in the mood to read them, but there are so many that I want to read. So I'm really excited to get into this one. This one is Move Backwards 1, so another hard sci-fi. And for number 11, we got another hard sci-fi. So for this, I am going to read The Three-Body Problem by Cixin Liu. I don't know how to pronounce that. I probably butchered it. I think it was originally written in Chinese, but it's basically, I think it's about first contact with aliens. I'm not really sure. I've heard Books with Emily Fox talk about this. And I have this as an audiobook as well, so I'm hoping it's not too hard to follow an audiobook and too science heavy. I'm a little nervous about it, but I think it should be fine. If not, I think I can also get an ebook of it. So I'm really excited to read that one. I think it's going to be really interesting. And 3. Which puts us at male romance. So for the category of male romance, I did decide to read Anything Could Happen by Will Walton. This is like I think it's a young adult contemporary. It's pretty short. I got it from a discount bookstore, and it's about a boy in a small town in America who likes another boy, and I think the other boy is like leading him on. This is going to be a quick read, easy to breeze through. I'm really excited to have this finally read. I haven't heard anything about it, frankly. I'm pretty excited to read this. I'll let you know how it goes. And now I have to get one or move backwards. Guess which one I'm probably going to do.
Move forward 2 spaces. Move forward 11 spaces. Move forward 3.
I'm not out on the board, so if I was out on the board, I would have to go back to start, but I'm not out on the board. I'm in a home or a safe zone, so that doesn't really matter, thank God.
Move forward 7. Move forward 8.
Move forward 1. And that's the game. So that was it for the game of sorry, which I'm sorry that I made the life choices that I made. I have these 5 books from the game of sorry to read this month. I also have 4 audiobooks and 3 ebooks. Is my math right? That's right. 3 ebooks, 4 audiobooks. But I'm also doing Detectathon this month, which means that I have to have everything match the categories. Stay tuned for my Detectathon TBR, which will be a fully separate video. Or should I just do it now? Should I just do it now? Yeah, I'll just go through what I'm doing for Detectathon real quick. So for Detectathon, there are 6 categories plus a group read. The group read is Ivy Aberdeen's Letter to the World. For a book with purple in the cover, I am reading Vacation. If you can see, the flowers are a pinkish purple. I'm gonna say it counts. A book containing secrets is going to be Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell, because the secret is you don't know who the girl is and who the daughter is and what happened. It's a mystery. There's secrets. I'm going to just count it. For a new to you author, I am going to go with Will Walton. I've never read anything by him, and I think this will be a good thing to wrap up the whole thing at the end, because I don't think you have to read the books in order. This is like a really chill readathon. There's no order to it. You can like double up prompts. Like if I wanted to, I could use this for Book of Secrets, Book of Girl on the cover, and a new to me author, because I've never read anything by Deb Allen Unferth. But again, I'll have that video with all the prompts and the announcement linked down below. It was announced a while ago now. Prompt 5 is a book with night in the title. For this, I'm going to be reading The Bear and the Nightingale, a book that has a map, Game of Thrones, because I hate myself. You need a book with a map for Detectathon, and this has a map. And none of the other books I have map. I'm adding 800 additional pages. Hey, what's up? Editing Mary here. So it turns out The Martian has a map, like a topographical map of Mars in it. So I'm not going to be reading Game of Thrones this month. I'm just going to read The Martian for Detectathon. So I should let you know. Okay, back to the past, Mary. Bye. And a retelling. For a retelling, I am going to read Frankenstein in Baghdad, which is by an Iraqi author. I think it's a retelling of Frankenstein, obviously, roughly, but it's about a war-torn Iraq after the US invasion. And basically this, I don't know if he's a doctor or who the guy is, but he is piecing together pieces of body parts that he finds to sort of have this display of like, look at this atrocity that's happening here, and then somehow the body parts that are now combined to make Frankenstein's monster in this version get out, and they're out and about in the world doing things. Obviously, I haven't read it yet, but I'm pretty excited to read it. I haven't really heard anyone talk about it, I don't think. I think it might have been recommended by Goodreads, so we'll see if that's any good. And that's my whole TBR. So 14 books, 4 audiobooks, 4 ebooks, 6 physical books. That's the gist. 5,462 pages, 30 days. I think I can do it. Oh, if you are participating in Detectathon, leave your video down below. I want to watch it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more from me, make sure to subscribe. If you really want to know what I'm doing all the time, then you can go ahead and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Goodreads. I'm at God Bless America on all of those platforms. And I will see you guys on Thursday.